Can I now request the envoy of His Excellency President Paul Kagame to come forward and deliver your message? Dr. Kaberuka, please.
I bring you greetings from President Paul Kagame and the people of Rwanda at a time when you honor and celebrate the life of Emmanuel. It couldn't be otherwise. The people of Rwanda, the people of Kabale, people of Kigezi, Uganda in general, our link, our culturally, by blood, go a long, long way. So the president joins you as you celebrate, as your man, your brother. It is our hope that we'll do everything we can to honor this great Ugandan, a great African. And my presence here as an envoy of my president, as I said, is a sign of the desire of the people, the two countries, to live together in harmony and peace, to celebrate together. We know all that in recent times there have been some challenges, but we also know that significant efforts by our two leaders are underway to resolve those issues because they are resolvable. The people of Rwanda, people of Kabale, Kigezi, Uganda, we're brothers, and we have the ability to work together to resolve those problems so that we can go on with developing our two great countries. Now, I won't be long. I just want to say the following. You know, our profession is called sometimes the dismal science. And I want to tell you that Emmanuel rescued us from being called dismal scientists. He actually showed that this science can deliver prosperity for the people. He has influenced many generations of Africans, some of whom are here today. None of them would agree with everything Emmanuel advocated for. Indeed, he used to joke with me that around him here, there were too many socialists. I sometimes wonder if my brother Wakana was among them. I'm not sure about that. But Emmanuel was sometimes misunderstood by people who thought he was a neoliberal economist. But at the end of the day, he got the support needed, and what he did worked. I've known him for many, many years. I've benefited a great deal from our interaction. We compare notes frequently on matters of economic policy when both of us had duties in our respective countries, and later when I was appointed head of the African Development Bank. Indeed, on Emmanuel's advice, I was to appoint one of his deputies as chief economist of the African Development Bank, that is Louis Kasekende. Now, I remember two things about him. On one of the anniversaries of the Bank of Uganda, he invited me to deliver the Joseph Mubilu lecture, a flagship event for Bank of Uganda, in memory of Governor Mubiru, who was killed in those days, in the dark days of your country. Years later, when I had left the African Development Bank, he invited me to help him think through a foundation he was setting up. Indeed, I was privileged to deliver the inaugural lecture for that foundation in Kampala. So, as we say goodbye to our brother, celebrate his life, we can assure him that there are many young Africans now able to carry forward the kind of things he did. Even for those of you who are not economists, but for the benefit of those listening, there are two things he did which should be said, especially by someone who is not a Ugandan like me. Number one, he really believed that the essence of economic policy is discipline. Without discipline, nothing can happen. It may not be enough, but without discipline, nothing would work. And that he stuck to. The second, he believed very, very much in thinking about economics long term. You know, many of the successful countries in the world think about these things over 30, 40, 50 years, not between an election and another. He was able to always think through long term, and his long tenure at the Bank of Uganda is testimony that he was able always to advise on the difficult choices, trade-offs to be done. Last time I met him with Betty in Washington, both of us were attending some events there. I could see he was having challenges with his health, obviously, but we still discussed the issue about African economies and what we can do, especially in the aftermath of the global financial crisis. Our views coincided. So on behalf of everyone on the African continent, who is one or another has been or is now involved in economic planning and economic policy, we shall remember Emmanuel's contribution. We shall remember a banker, an economist of unique pedigree. And in particular, we remember that it's now possible for Africans to have that space to make their own economic policies without necessarily waiting for what he used to call agents of external restraint from outside. So to the family of Emmanuel, I once again bring you greetings, encouragement, and sympathy from President Paul Kagame, people of Rwanda. They join you as you celebrate and honor this great man. And to all my friends here, I bring the same greetings of friendship between the people of Rwanda, people of Kabare, people of Kigezi, people of Uganda. Looking forward to working together to resolve some of the problems which may have been a challenge in recent days. Once again, we are joining you in this period of mourning, but also of celebration. And we wish everyone well. Emmanuel, as they say, your candle is out, but your legend will never die. May you rest in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaberuka, and thank you, President Paul Kagame, for the message that you have delivered to the people of Kigezi, the people of Uganda, upon the death of Professor Mutebile. I will request two short remarks. Professor Mutebile, before he joined the Bank of Uganda, and actually even now was being supervised by the Ministry of Finance. Mr. Matia Kaseja could not be here. The Honorable Henry Musasizi and the Permanent Secretary Treasury, Gobi is here, and I want to request to step forward and read that message on behalf of Minister of Finance, and then Honorable Jim Mwezi will be ready as we now move towards the end of the speeches. Let's put our hands together to welcome the representative of the Minister of Finance and the PSST, Mr. Gobi.